Hey guys, welcome to Write Bites, a series of 10-minute episodes on writing, marketing, and freelancing. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing 4 ways that copywriters should be using GPT-3 right now. Not in the future, not when the technology gets better. This is 4 ways that you can be using this tech right now. I'm going to tell you what those things are, and I'm actually going to show you exactly how to use them. It's super simple, and I think you're going to be really excited to dig into this. But before we dive in, I have 2 pretty exciting announcements. First of all, you can sort of see in the background here, I'm in the process of moving down to San Diego this week. Really excited to have a little bit of a change of scenery. If you're in the area and you want to connect, definitely hit me up. And second of all, and this is something that I've actually never done before. This is a first for me, and I'm really excited about it. My podcast and YouTube, the Write Bites channel, is now officially sponsored by Copy.ai. And if you haven't heard of Copy.ai, they're a company that uses GPT-3 to help marketers, business owners, and writers leverage the GPT-3 technology with really simple, straightforward, easy-to-use tools that help you quickly tap in to the power of GPT-3. Now, I absolutely love this tool. I reached out to Copy.ai when I first found out what they were doing. I took one look at their tool and I thought, wow, this is basically leveraging the GPT-3 technology in all the ways that I wanted to utilize the tech when it first came out, but you couldn't really do it just using their sort of base playground is what it's called. If you were to just try to pull GPT-3 tech and use it for writing, it'd be almost kind of like sitting down to a commercial espresso machine for the first time and having to go make a cup of coffee without knowing anything about espresso brewing or anything like that. So it's kind of complex. But what Copy.ai does is they have written human-made instructions that go over GPT-3 and basically allow it to immediately understand what you're looking for. So if you want to write an email subject line, Copy.ai has a tool built for email subject lines where all you have to do is enter a little bit of info about the topic you're wanting to do, and it'll pop out 7 different email subject lines generated using GPT-3. So it's really cool. They're helping, just ordinary people leverage this tool in a really smart way. And so I reached out to them when I first came across this tool. I was really excited about it. I wanted to see how I could partner and work with them to help them make this tool something that would be the most effective for writers. Because as I talked about before, when I was first covering GPT-3, I don't see this technology as a threat for good writers. I think there is a section of the writing market that's very low quality, that's, with writers that aren't really looking to be good writers. They're just looking to churn out a huge mass of low quality writing. That corner of the market was always destined to be replaced. And so this tech will probably be part of replacing that market. But for the most part, what really makes a writer effective and high paid as a result is knowing the substance to what they're writing and understanding, the core substance of a piece. And GPT-3, while it can generate ideas and it can generate language, it does not generate core substance for lengthier pieces of content. So while it's not a threat, it can actually be a really effective tool for your own personal productivity. And in this video, I'm going to be tackling exactly how to do that in 4 different ways that you can do right now. 4 different ways that you could be using GPT-3 and specifically Copy.ai, which I believe is currently the best tool on the market for using GPT-3, for how you can use this tool right now. And we'll be talking more about this down the road. I'm also working with Copy.ai directly to build better tools specifically for writers. We just wrapped up one that's focused on value propositions that I'm really excited about, and I'll explain more about that in this video. And there's lots more to come. So with that said, let's dive in. So the first way you can be using GPT-3 right now as a copywriter is to eliminate a specific type of writing from your repertoire that it seems 50% or more of writers absolutely hate. And if you haven't guessed it already, I'm talking about blog intros. Everybody hates intros. They're the absolute worst. Nobody likes to write them, and yet you have to write them on every single blog post until now. Copy.ai has a blog intro tool that allows you to insert the topic of the blog post and generate 7 different completely written intros at a time. Now, there's multiple ways you can use this. You can pull out something that potentially is good to go right off the bat, or more likely, you might find something that generates maybe 50 to 70% of the content that you're going to want in the intro, and then you just adjust it and polish it off from there. And that's kind of a trend you'll see with the best way to use GPT-3, which is to generate a starting point so that you're not starting from that blank page, so you're not staring at something that you don't really want to have to think about how to approach this, and just find the angle you want automatically using this tool in a few seconds, and then finish it off from there. So that's number one, using GPT-3 to never have to write another blog intro. Number two, you can quickly generate numerous ideas for more critical pieces of copy, like value propositions. So if you're anything like me, and if you followed the process that I teach, the way that I write a value proposition is to sit down and generate around 10 up to 20 different value proposition ideas. And the goal here is that I want to get direct feedback from the client, because a value proposition, it's very personal. And it's the best way to get a client excited is to really nail the value proposition. It's also a great way to get direct customer feedback in a really confined and limited piece of the project that you can then apply to the rest of what you're doing. So for example, if I'm doing a website copywriting project, I'll always work with the client a little bit collaboratively on that opening value proposition, so I can see what they respond to, what they like, what they're looking for. And then from there, I'll apply that info to writing the rest of the copy, because I don't want to collaborate with them through the entire writing process. That's just too time consuming and it's unnecessary. But by doing it on the value proposition, I can get them excited, get them to really buy in right off the bat, while also soliciting feedback for the rest of the project. The problem here is generating those 10 to 20 ideas can take a lot of time. It's hard work. Unless you have the type of brain that is just built for brainstorming, it's not fun, really. For me, what's fun is when you find the pieces you like and you polish them. But just generating the core ideas at the beginning, it's just a lot of work, and you're constantly fighting against your brain, kind of burrowing into these ruts, getting in these mental ruts where it's really hard to push yourself out of that rut to create a whole new idea with completely new phrasing. And so this is where Copy.ai comes in, and the first tool that I built collaboratively with them is the value proposition tool. And the idea here is that you're going to be able to leverage GPT-3 to create a large number of ideas very quickly. And you can still riff off of those ideas yourself to generate more ideas, but instead of starting from a blank page, instead of starting solely from the formula, we provide this benefit to this audience segment by this process. Instead of just operating off that one template to build all your ideas, it's going to generate multiple ideas that you can then build off. And you get 7 ideas per click, so you can click however many times you need to generate more and more ideas. But even beyond value propositions, any piece of kind of more critical copy, like headlines or maybe email subject lines, stuff where like a lot of the performance is riding on this one line, and you want to be able to have multiple ideas, multiple phrasings, you can use the Copy.ai tools to tap into GPT-3 and use it to generate ideas. Number 3, you can use GPT-3 to quickly write multiple pieces of relatively low impact short form automatically. So stuff like captions, maybe even, if you're working on a project that's fairly low budget and you need to write like 1,000 product descriptions, stuff like that where there's repeatability to it. Anything where you have to create a lot of stuff, when you tend to try to write that stuff manually, it's very easy to get into these mental ruts where you just end up saying the same thing over and over and over. And Copy.ai, using a tool like a product description tool or an Instagram caption tool, even a TikTok caption tool, you can automatically generate this type of stuff. And it's going to be good ideas. And again, you don't have to go copy paste directly from tool to final output. There's probably going to be some polishing in there as well. But when we talk about massive repetition, anything where you can get completely original ideas for each piece and then just polish it and publish, you're going to get significantly better results than if you just try to churn and burn manually. At least in my experience. Again, some different writers have different strengths. Maybe creating new ideas across thousands of instances is a superpower for you. But I would hazard a guess that for most people, it's not. So something like this can allow you to still get something kind of new and interesting for each piece, while also saving you a ton of time. And number 4, last but definitely not least, as we see tools like Copy.ai coming into the space and getting very fast adoption, particularly by solopreneurs and smaller business owners, the types of people who aren't usually going to be able to afford to pay, you can look to see what's getting people the most excited, and that can inform your own copy. Because as I've talked about before, yes, we are writing for the client's customers, but ultimately, our customer is the client. And if you don't get it past the client, no matter how objectively good your copy is, it's never going to see the light of day if it doesn't get the client excited. And so it can really help. We often, as people who are looking to master our own craft, we can get really hung up on, the art of the craft itself, and sometimes forget that really the end audience isn't us. It's not even, it's not a panel of expert copywriters. It's the client. And sometimes what the client wants is not always what is objectively the best or what a panel of writing experts would deem the best. And so it's a good way to be keeping your eye on what's getting people excited and what your customers and clients actually want. So that's 4 things that GPT-3 can do for you right now. And Copy.ai, if you want to try it out, can handle all 4 of them and a whole lot more. So if you are interested in checking that out, playing with it completely free, head over to copy.ai/Jacob, and you can sign up for a 7-day free trial. Give it a test run. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As you start to use it, what do you think of the outputs? Can you envision how this will fit into your own workflow? Are there any other tools that they don't have in the lineup yet that you think would be really helpful? And finally, I'd just like to give a big shout out to Copy.ai and the team over there. I really appreciate them sponsoring my Write Bytes channel. That's it for today, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.